Micheladas. Did you know this is
Antojitos Michelada is a Michelada cup. In fact, we're going to talk about these things because you need to have these in your store, in your restaurant.
So it's just like this little pre-made concoction of like an actual.
So you take a drink, any drink. You could put Gatorade in here. Can you see if your mic works? Can you just say hello? Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Test.
Sounds
Live
great.
from
I can hear-
Tropicana Golf Club.
I can hear it in my ear.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
You got an ear thinging?
Yeah, but
like,
you can't see it.
Dude, you got an ear thinging like
Watch.
Kamala did during the debate.
Oh my God.
Oh my
You're not supposed to
God.
spill it.
Okay.
But you pour a little bit in here like
You
this.
spilled a little right here.
I'm going to pour a little bit in yours. That way you
you.
can save yours.
The Nate is rude.
So this is the Tampico Hard Punch. It's a fiesta of flavor. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I don't need to
Beautiful.
get so appropriate.
Yeah.
I'll put those right here. It's a fiesta of flavor fruit punch. Orange, blackberry, raspberry, apple, pineapple, and cherry flavors.
Is it like a truly or is it just like
I don't know.
a full?
I have no idea. But Nate
I
from
can
San
tell
Dimas
you.
Liquor brought us all of these, and he said we have to finish that.
Thank you, Nate.
And then you brought me this, which
You
is
are the man.
marvelous.
I stole it
A
from
little
somebody.
blue label, so we
Stole it
have
from
to
my
finish
father-in-law.
that too. And these cups here, we're gonna do it like we always do.
Yes.
We do a toast to my friend Frankie owns this company. Frankie Micheladas Antojitos. We're gonna get these in Ramon's
Gracias, Frankie.
restaurant. So salute to Frankie.
Salud.
Salute to Nate for providing us. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. We're gonna talk about a lot.
I
We're coming right
appreciate
back right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, I need to introduce my guest, the guest of honor. I wore a suit and tie.
I feel so underdressed right
I
now.
know.
Just so you know.
Nate, can you get this guy a jacket?
God, man, I
There's a
feel
dress code in here. and
There
I
is
feel like you're
there
not.
is a closet back there, and you guys should come and buy
Nate,
stuff.
there, look at Nate's
But
gonna go
I
get
need
one.
something that is super Jimmy type.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh wait, look at. Oh, he brought you.
Oh, I have options, man.
ensemble.
Yeah,
I'll hold your
I'll take
microphone.
this one, man. We're going black on black.
Okay, I like that. Thank you.
wear-
Thank
what?
you. We have a wardrobe coordinator who is also
If
the.
this fits, this is.
Oh,
Stop it
wow.
right now.
Very wow.
What do you think?
He's also the bartender. You look very
You like
good.
it?
You look very
Oh.
dapper, very demure,
Gracias,
very
amigo.
sophisticated.
Gracias. So do you, man.
You have a little. You have a little Tampico sauce on here. What do they call that? The
Chamoy? No, not chamoy.
tahine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I was rude. My guest tonight, a childhood friend. When I say childhood, I mean from my childhood, but I don't think
More my childhood.
Yeah,
I was
you
young-
were.
I was younger.
You were the child, Mr. Baños, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Juan Baños.
you
Are you
like
Mr. Baños
Would you
yet?
like to translate what Baños is?
No,
Just
we're not-
because
we're
I
not-
know it's gonna. I mean, it's
We're not going to talk about it, but we are going to
made fun
talk
of it
about.
for 35
We're going to
years,
talk
so-
about some
okay.
translation a little bit later.
Restrooms, not bathrooms. It's restrooms. Plural.
Baños, plural restrooms.
Yes, get that right.
Juan is. How old are you, Juan?
35. and a half.
35. I'm 41. So if my math is right, that's 6 years.
You're 41.
I'm 41.
Dude, you look so good for 41.
Thank you, bro. I look at least 40
You
and a
are
half.
dapper.
So that means that when I was 10,
Yeah. -6 is
you were 4
40.
years old.
4.
Because that's when I knew. So Juan's brother and I went to school together, and we were in the same grade, and we were friends. And I used to go to Juan's house, but Juan was always the little brother. In fact, there was 2 of them because you have a twin brother.
Twin brother. We weren't that little. We were little, but
A little bit wide.
a little bit wide, man. Yeah.
They were good kids. They were good kids and they were fun kids, but they were little brothers. And when I say little brothers, when you are a 5th and 6th grader and there is a 4-year-old running around, it was a 4-year-old. And we just saw you guys as the little kids. And now you can imagine, because now we have kids that are 4
It's just
years
crazy.
old.
Unlike the same baseball teams. now.
Right. And just imagine a 5th or
Little
6th
league.
grader associating with those little guys. So you have to remember that it's been however many years, but to me, you're still the little brother.
I know. Is that crazy?
It's weird.
Even
It's
though we're,
very, very strange. And I don't know if you've
even though
ever
we're getting some
experienced
white
that.
hairs now.
I know, but I still see you
Yeah.
as just that little boy.
You said that to me on the baseball field.
It's
not too
very,
long ago.
because it blows my mind every time. And the weirdest part is that your wife is apparently the same age, right?
Yeah. No, she's 3 months older. She's a cougar.
Okay.
Major cougar.
So you can imagine that the same scenario happens with her, because I was friends with her older sister,
That's right. Yeah.
and she was always
Yeah.
the little. So I was 10 years old, and then there was this 4-year-old, and now you guys
Yeah.
have grown up, and now you're adults, and it's it's weird to me because we're not that far apart, but back then we were very far apart. A 4-year-old and a 10-year-old is a different planet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Well, it's funny because when we were 4, you know, like when we're little, when you're a little guy, you're always looking up to the big guys.
Right.
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 And you and Ramon were like just gods to us.
Well, I'm still
right?
a god.
And I mean, the one thing I'm just going to go on record.
Okay.
We're going to have to talk about it at some point. But man, I always looked up to your hair. You were just like, your hair.
That's because you were
always,
shorter.
and it's still so good. And like I can't compete with it. My hair probably takes
My
longer
hair,
to do than yours.
thank God.
Man, I just remember one time. I think so. We actually we traveled together.
Yes,
our
we
families.
did. Yes, we did.
And I think my mom either we'd pick you up or like we'd meet around school at the same time.
Yeah.
And one of the times when we were dropping you and Ramon off first to middle school, we were going elementary,
Right.
and you had this new hairdo, and it was where the hair kind of did this, like 2 bangs down. And dude, I remember leaving going, I found my moment. I went home, and every day for like months, man, it was, I had these little horns.
I'll tell you what that's called.
Awesome. So I've never thanked you for that. And I just wanted
You're
to
welcome.
thank you
You're
today.
welcome. That was called the Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan.
Do you remember that? Hey, Nate.
JTT.
Look at Nate. What are you doing back there? Can you do me a favor? Can you turn on that air conditioner right there? Just hit mode until you see AC. It's hot in here.
Is it hot?
Yeah. Anyway,
Don't-
listen, it's
Can
been
I
a
take my
long.
jacket off?
No, you want to take it off and then put it back on?
Can.
It's been a long road, and it's cool. It's cool that we've made it down this way, and now you have become everything that you were destined to be. But you're a big player now, and I think that there's a lot of people that watch this that will be very interested to hear everything that you do. Now, like I said, I've known this guy for a very, very long time. Our families go back. We went to Cabo San Lucas on a vacation together. His parents brought us. We had a great time. Remember, these are little 4-year-old kids with us, and we were tagging along and running around, and it was marvelous. Flash forward 30 years, right? Because I mean,
30 years.
Well, I would see you, I guess, in high school. Maybe not. I don't.
So old when we say that. 30 years.
It was like the 4-year-old kid, and then I saw this man, and I go,
Thank you.
"Oh my God, that was the little kid that I knew," and there he was. So he's grown up, obviously, and it's very interesting to see that and to see everything that he's accomplished. So I want to talk a little bit about what you do, because I know your hand is everywhere. Don't be nasty. Your hand is in a lot of different pots, and you do a lot of cool things. And I think it's important for people to understand that you can do more than one thing. You can be good, if not great, at many things. And you have a very good work ethic, I can see, and you're a very busy guy. You make a lot of time for your family, and you make time for golf, which is, a lot of people that watch this love golf.
More recently, yeah.
And I think it's important that you can balance all this stuff. And I want people to learn a little bit from you on how balancing these things can be a thing. How can you really do all this? So what is your main day-to-day, let's call it occupation? What is it that you do?
Well, I guess we got to kind of start backwards. I'd really like, thank you, Jimmy. You've always course corrected me since we were children.
Let's
and
get
I've
those
always
bangs
hated
going.
That about you. Look, I'd prefer to really talk about the 4-year-old gorditos that we were hanging out with, and your parents having such a great time with my parents because they're both immigrants, right? Mm-hmm. And just like seeing that go down, I think that really exposes you to just a different perspective in life.
Right.
And by the way, your mom was always just like the life of the part. Still is. When I see your mom, it's like she hasn't changed one bit. She's wonderful.
Yeah, she's it.
So shout out to mom. But I think if let's start at balance. What is balance? I think everybody's definition of balance is different, right? I think it's work life balance. You got to have this, and I don't necessarily believe in this like balance or boundaries concept. I think you got one life, you're dying. So make sure you do a lot about it, right?
Okay.
So I think when you kind of wake up with that mindset, you just want to get a lot done. You want to get a lot of quantity done, but you also want to do it with quality, right? And I think that's where the mistake is made. So yeah, I mean, look, we've a little bit of the story, but we
I do know the story a little bit, like around the edges. All I know is from when I was that age, and it was construction, and from what I remember, I remember hearing something about cacique cheese,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
it. And then from there, it was
They're
kind of like,
Cuban. The largest Mexican
Yes.
cheese people in the country are Cuban.
right. I know that, and that's why I remember that. And then I knew, I think, an uncle or a cousin of yours that worked construction with you guys, and then
So
that
much
was
family.
it.
So much family.
So, and then that was it. So explain to me, what is it? Where did it start? How did it go?
Well, yeah, okay. So I mean, it's a long story, but you're gonna get kind of like the mild version of it. But my dad was an immigrant from Spain, southern Spain, Murcia. They would say Murcia, and my mom's from Jalisco, Mexico. You know, they met in Mexico after he left Spain. They immigrated to the U.S. They were in pursuit of the American dream, and he was a builder. He was a developer. He did very well in Spain. I don't know why he left. He's dead now, so I can't really ask him. But I have some idea of it. And he was fascinated by the world of building here. So that's where construction comes in.
Okay.
He started a business. He was very relational. This man was very good at keeping good relationships.
Yes.
Similar to people like us that are
Right.
extroverts or whatnot. And he ended up building a decent sized business in Southern California. And he ended up moving us to Glendora, where we both live, only because it was a good school district.
Right.
We're either living in Duarte
Yep.
or Glendora. And the difference between Duarte
Duarte.
and Glendora is we're going to probably run around with different people, right? Now, keep in mind, we're probably one of the only Hispanic kids at the time that are here in Glendora, but it kept us away from trouble.
Right.
So anyways, he did relatively well. He built a business, not the size of the business he had in Spain. And
so he had a bigger business
Had a
there.
bigger business
Wow.
in Spain. Yeah.
Okay.
That story is like a whole another hour.
So he came here.
conversation.
Was he older? I mean, listen,
He
like,
left Spain and he went missing. There's billboards of this man that he was lost.
how
His
old?
family didn't talk. He didn't know about him for 15 years. It's crazy.
How old
should
was
write a
he?
book.
Like, really? Like, when I say how old was he? When I was, so let's call it 30 years ago. How old would he have been today?
1950. So he would have been 74.
Okay,
This
so
year.
30 years ago, he was 44. That's when I knew him.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. So he was 44 years old. He starts his business here that he left in Spain. He's here. He's married. He's got four
Yeah,
kids.
Just starts over. Just like
Starts over.
Yeah.
And he's building and he's doing well. And the business, I assume, was there a breaking point? Was there a unlocking of a door that just said, boom, you've made it? Or was it overnight, or was it years of building little things and then getting bigger and bigger and
Well,
bigger?
I always knew how to build things, but yeah, the breaking one was when he met the cheese company.
Okay, so it was
Right,
cacique.
So he was a great friend of the owner, and they started building everything and built a business around that. And this is a really good lesson for anybody in any business, because we don't do business with them anymore. Actually, when he died, it's a long story, but we're not affiliated with him. And you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Sure.
That's the lesson.
Okay.
Right? So anyways, builds this company, and what ended up happening, fast forward, he passed away in 2009. He got lung cancer.
Yes.
He was a 3 packs a day.
Yeah, heavy smoker. I remember
Do
that.
you do the math with 3 packs a day?
It's a lot of cigarettes.
It's a lot of cigarettes.
It's a lot of cigarettes.
Like I maximum do like 6 Zins a day. Maybe like times 2.
I wish you
depending
could see
on the
you
week.
Zin, bro. He'd throw you out the window.
Dude,
But
Zins, I mean, I don't want to like shout out to Zin, but man, these they've saved my life.
oh my god,
And I play Russian roulette with Zin. Do you know what that means?
no.
I got 3 cinnamon
Oh,
in there.
you're
threes,
you're
and then
so
there's 6s. So
you're
it's like,
so
you don't know what you're
wild,
getting.
bro. You're so
Yeah, man.
wild.
It's crazy
God
math.
forbid. Okay, so go back to it. So he's building this business, gets a very large contract with Cacique Cheese.
Yeah, a sustainable contract.
Okay.
So anyways, we fast forward. He passes away. He built a good life for us, right? We were very middle class, good families. We traveled. Everything was okay. And then when he passed away, we had no succession plan. So when he died, we lost everything. He bought a ranch out in the Murrieta, Temecula area. We had a couple houses here, certain things, and then it just no succession plan. He did everything for his business. And similar to guys that run small businesses, and this gives me like PTSD. This is why I built businesses around processes and systems now. You can't be the everything guy. You can't be the invoice guy. You can't be the marketing guy. You can't
Yeah,
be
yeah. No,
because if you
I-
die,
it's
just
gone.
It's gonna
I
be
hear
gone.
you. I hear
So from that, we got together, and I always wanted to be a lawyer. I had a mentor that was like a trial attorney, and it was just fascinating to walk in a courtroom and you see these guys, and I'm like, I could be that theatrical, and I think I could do that. But he's the one that when my dad was dying, he said, hey, you know what? I think you're going to be a shitty lawyer, and you're going to need lawyers.
Pick up
And
a hammer.
he was right. And so I went back to the family business, which I hated because we grew up in construction. Man, when you're 15 years old, you get your summers taken away because your you're in the trenches and you're doing all this stuff, you just hate it. It's not fun. It's very labor intensive. So, but with that in mind, we went back and we saw that there's a real business we can build from this. So from that, we worked really hard. That's one. We got lucky. We made the right decisions, worked really hard again, and just kept working really hard.
Do you think that you knew enough from him? Did he teach you enough? Because I could listen. I didn't know him on an adult level, meaning I was an adult, but I could probably assume that there was not a business like your business. It was kind of like just like roll it, let's go.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, what are you doing today? Come help. Like every day was something new. Like there wasn't like this big corporate life.
Right. No, there wasn't. It was a survival business, right?
Exactly.
I mean, his was sustainable because he had a good business.
Because he was a hustler. He hustled it.
We got to make our mortgage next month.
Right.
Business,
okay.
Right. So it's like you take whatever you can. You say yes to everything.
Yes.
You work 28 hours a day, and so but through that process, you have the fundamentals. If you ask me, what did you learn? You learn the fundamentals of like just hard work and persistence and doing the right thing. And before you know it, things start happening and you get another client. And then you start building a brand around it. And you build a business and you hire people that are a lot smarter than you. And then, then you can evolve it and you can plug in, different divisions and different industries that we work in now.
So did you have these clients already, after he passed away? How do you jump back in? Do you call the same people and be like, hey, we're still working? Or was it like, we got to go find new business? Was it zero? Did you have zero? Did you essentially start from zero?
So financially we started from zero, but what we had was the baseline of who we were known for, right? So we had two major clients at the time. Our biggest client was a company I won't mention, but you mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention them. And they kind of outed us, right? They were like, hey, you guys should just fold this thing and, kind of like what I heard was like your dad's legacy is dead.
Okay.
And then it's like, that kind of sucks. So the same day we lost that client is the same day we were awarded our first $100,000 construction project. And that night,
building what? What?
It was like a big concrete job for this company called Golden State Foods. They do all the McDonald's process.
GSF.
And we went off that
Right.
night, Jimmy. We were like partying. We were like, yes. And the next day, I shit you not, we wake up and like we were in tears. We're like, we can't afford to do this project. Like we have $100,000 job that we have to buy $16,000 worth of material.
And you
for.
don't have it.
And we've got $0. And my mother, man, and she's a tough cookie, but God, I love her. We ended up selling like her jewelry to
get the 16.
Be able to get the $16,000, and from that, we just cash flow, right? Business.
Yeah. So
cash flow is king.
So you get that project, and you're all working collectively. It's like a family deal at this time. You're all trying to put the pieces together.
Yep.
And that leads from one thing to another job to another job. And somewhere down this road of I'm sure a few years of that, somehow and somewhere down this road, this thing explodes. Now, I don't understand it. I don't get it because I've never been told it. But is there another entity that just comes and like transforms this? Or is it just still you guys and you've just made it massive? I don't understand how you go from a construction company to this mega, like massive thing that's worldwide. I mean, we're talking
not worldwide, but it's
20 years. We're talking, right? Not even 20 years. We're talking 15,
it's been
14
years, and we've worked really hard. And I would attribute the success of the business. There's no singular person that should ever take credit. Like, somebody could sit here and be like,
sure,
because of me.
Yeah.
The reality is, we've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but we had a pretty good vision about evolving the business for the space we're in, which is a very old space. I mean, the world of building is massively old.
Right.
Like, nobody thinks about it, right? We're sitting in this beautiful room where people were making this happen, right?
Sure.
We got to have this great podcast. But so like there's this behind the scenes space that I saw an opportunity to really maximize like a cool ecosystem and create a business out of it. Now, I may have had a little piece to do with like the vision of it, but I'll tell you the people that we've hired are like experts in our space.
So when do you decide we need to hire people? Is it something that you didn't know enough? You felt like, I don't know enough of what I'm doing. Let me hire somebody. And how do you find this person? How do you find somebody that knows how to run your business? And why are they not running their own business?
Yeah. So that's actually a great question. And a lot of people that are building a business struggle with exactly what you just said. And when you're hiring people, it's a risk, right? And you have to take risks. And at the beginning, especially at our age and when we were in survival, like we didn't know. We were just hiring and firing. There's money coming in, there's money coming out, and we didn't know what the hell we're doing. But what if you're really just going in at it 100% of the time, you're starting to realize like, okay, these are the right people that we need in these chairs to execute on this. And it eventually, if you just stick with it, it starts working itself up. And we're still making hookups today. I mean, look, we are. I still joke with everybody and say, you know, we've almost built a real business, but it's because we still make mistakes. I mean, there's businesses out there a lot larger than we are, and they're still making mistakes.
Sure.
But you have to be willing to make those mistakes. I mean, you run a business, you maybe start something, you say, I think this guy's the right guy. He might not be the right guy.
Right.
Right. And you know, that happens. And then you got to think about the economics of it. Like, what if I can't afford him? What if I run out of money for payroll? What if this happens?
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of risk associated. There's no strategic way until you've become a big business of hiring people for roles. The small businesses that convert into the middle market really need to take risk, and that's where you go to die.
Right.
That's also where you go to really win.
Yeah. No, I see that. And the way I see that is I've always been like a street guy. Like I want to do it. I'm on the street. I do it. I make the deal. I get the work done. I'm there. And it's exhausting. It really is. And if there was a team, you know, and I've always been hesitant to hire a team. And I know you have to hire a team in order to grow, and you have to hire a team in order to win. But I've never done that. And I'm starting to do that. I now have a team that helps me run the club, and I have, you know, the girls club, I have the Las Vegas club, I have the Florida club. And it's the team, and you put trust in these people that they're going to help you expand. Right. And these people came to me, which is great. You know, I wasn't out looking for them. They said, can I help you with this? Can I run this chapter? Can I do this? And that's a great way to have quote unquote employees, but they're more like team members. So what I think happened with you is that you're doing this and you have your team with your family, and then you start bringing individuals in that know a little bit more than you guys possibly.
Absolutely.
And then the thing just explodes.
Yeah.
When somebody knows more than you in your own business, is that weird? Do you feel like, man, this guy can like overthrow the government here?
Well, I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what's the value I'm creating for my business? And the value you're creating for your business is not everything your business needs to survive, right? And I know the value I create for my business, and it's not every single piece of the puzzle. So if people come in and they have this piece of the puzzle way more figured out than anybody I've ever met,
yeah,
I want him on our team.
Do you think it's important for you to actually know every piece of the puzzle?
No.
Really?
I think I should fundamentally know what's going on. I mean, you in business, you got to use a lot of logic. Like what you just said, like I'd be curious to know why you have hesitation, because it's probably a very common answer. But what you did, you built a brand, right?
Yes.
You built a brand first, and you worked your ass off to build a brand.
Right.
And that's why people are now coming to you.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that don't build a brand. And I think the best thing you could ever do, I mean, take Jimmy, for example, build a brand.
Yeah.
If you build the right brand and you work your butt off and get lucky, you're going to build something that people are attracted to.
See, and I think a lot of people ask that. How do you build a brand? And to be honest with you, I don't know. I built a brand solely on doing things that I enjoyed. That's it. I didn't set out to be like, I'm going to build a brand, because I think then that would have been skewed. I just started doing things, and then it evolved into a brand. So all these people that sit and teach you how to build a brand, I don't know, man.
But okay, so let me tell you something. I think your brand and your vision was built based off the emotion and the feel. So brand is what you feel about the experience.
Right.
Marketing is how you promote it.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So everybody wants to feel a part of something, want to feel purposeful or significant. And you've done that with
Right.
Tropicana, and this is why it's become so successful. But most people, what they do is they build a business and they just do marketing. We're just going to market. We're going to promote this. And it's like, well, you're not creating this significance of this brand.
There's no depth in it. There's no depth.
You can't resonate to it.
I got it.
So,
all right. So you build this thing.
I'm so glad, by the way, you had good topics. I actually, before I got here and I brought you up, I created a list of topics that I thought that you would. I honestly, I stopped at the liquor store and I was like, what if Jimmy doesn't have good topics?
Listen to his topics. Pete, number 1, P. Diddy.
I think it's a good topic. People
Number
need to
2,
talk about it.
Trump. Number 3, Luis Miguel.
Yeah, Luis Miguel.
You are Luis Miguel.
No, you call me Luis Miguel? Time out. Before you read the rest, you're Luis Miguel. You look at Luis Miguel. You look more like Luis Miguel than I do. And also, fun fact with Luis Miguel, his first album, he was 12 years old.
Yeah, I know. Have you ever
keep going if you'd like, because these are good topics.
I'm going to get to the other 3 in a minute. Have you ever seen the Luis Miguel special? You would love it. The Netflix
documentary that he was his own star on.
No,
he was in his own documentary.
What? The Netflix show?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, unless
it was like 15
unless it was
episodes.
one of us lookalikes.
It's probably you.
Sure, it was him.
Listen, hold on a second. Before we get to your topics, I want to go back to this real quick because I think
Luis Miguel.
I want to go back to you, aka Luis Miguel. I want to hear that too. So we need to cap this because people are interested. They come here. They want to learn about how to do this. So if you were going back to tell yourself, not necessarily somebody else, to tell yourself, hey, pal, what is a 2-minute way that you can get back? Actually, a better question is, are you happy in the shoes that you're in right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, now 100%. How would you tell your 21-year-old self 15 years ago to get back in these shoes? What's the first thing that you do?
Yeah, well, if it was me telling him, I'd tell him everything's going to be okay. But the 21-year-old version of me did not think it's going to be okay, right? So I think when you first start off, and I don't think the way to success in life is being an entrepreneur or an employer or an employee. It's all of it. You got to really first you got to talk to yourself and you got to say what's important to me.
Right.
What do I want to be and where am I going to feel more purposeful? Because building a business is not for everyone. Nowadays, everybody thinks so because we see all these idiots on Instagram.
Yeah.
So we see one person out of thousands that made it.
Right.
And how about everybody else we don't see?
Right.
And building a business is really hard.
Yep.
It's not for everybody. And it requires being an extreme leader. And leader is such a misleading word. I think like everybody wants to be this leader. It's so cool. It's so sexy. But leader really means the person that's willing to take the most arrows in the back. So if I just changed that word for you and said, hey, leader is like cabron. All right, or we're going to make some crap word for leader. And this job represents you're going to take every arrow on the back, no matter what, even if it's not your fault. Are you willing to do it? You're going to go, no, that's kind of crap. But the word now is leader. So it's like, I want to be that.
Yeah, I think leader, let me get your notes.
Sorry.
Leader in a business form like that is the person that is, we don't want to, just put it down? Is that not legal? Oh, don't show the back. I guess he's got something against parliaments.
No, I don't. Listen, I got it in Germany.
I think leader in today's business is the person that can not, or that can hide their insecurity and their fears the best.
100%.
Because it's not like you're up there, you're like, this is easy. I got this. It's not, man. And it's every day it's challenging and you go home and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then you realize I got to do this again tomorrow. But then you show up tomorrow and you go, everything's fine.
Yeah.
We're good. Even though you might not be good, you have to present to somebody, hey, you're down 42-0 at half. We got this.
Yeah.
That's the leader.
100%.
That's the leader. And that's
Right.
what's important.
And usually you can't ever, the best leaders are the ones you don't even notice are there. And that's where I think.
Because they're so calm and cool. It's just like,
make
hey,
it happen.
yeah.
They make it look easy, which is a gift. And I think, you could probably relate to that. I could relate to it a little bit, but it is hard work. And, some people make it look easy, but it's not. But I do think for anybody like you asked, if what would you tell yourself is, first off, I always knew no matter what, being like a young 4-year-old fat boy that used to travel with you guys.
That boy?
It was, I knew I wanted to be in business. I wanted a laptop when they first came out, which kids, by the way, laptops were kind of new when we were younger. And I just thought like, man, it's really cool for these people to be doing business. And at one point I thought that was a lawyer, but I always knew I wanted something to be in business, to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And which this is a conflicting story, but I also wanted nothing to do with my dad's company. I hated construction.
Uh-huh.
You go dig trenches for 8 hours a day. It's no fun.
Right.
But once I married those two
Sure.
and said, we can not only take it from here, we can plug all this other business to what our construction company is today, energy and development and real estate. You go, man, we can actually build a business out of this. But that was in my core. And I think it's important for everybody to know, like, what's in your core? Like, are you just saying that because you feel like you need to? Or do you want to go have, like, what's the purpose you're chasing in your life? And once you figure that out, you're going to win.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and it's going to shock you right now. What you're doing right now is not what you're supposed to be doing. You are not a behind the scenes business guy. You're not. There's behind the scenes business guys, and you're not it. I think that you have a personality, and you had the same personality then as the spotlight guy. You want the spotlight, and you do well under the spotlight. People sit in this chair all the time, and I've been lucky. I've had very, very good guests that are very outspoken, but I've seen other things, other places where people are like, they're not comfortable. They don't know what to say. And that's fine because that's who they are. But I think that you, in the grand scheme of it, can take what you've learned from this business and apply it to something more media driven, meaning you're going to be out of the day-to-day signing deals and doing construction. I think that. And I think that you'll see that very, very quickly. And now you have an opportunity with the internet that it will expose the internet,
the World Wide
Web, the intranet. I think that this business that you have has taught you a lot and how to be personable and how to speak correctly in front of quote unquote audiences and or clients. But I think that this is not exactly what you are cut out to do.
Well, I appreciate that. I was told not to respond negatively from anything when I went to my spiritual healer, but I normally bash you. But,
do you not believe that?
Here's what I think about that.
Do you think that you'd be interested in doing something else?
Everybody's journey is a journey, and you have to just be comfortable with where you're going, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
And I don't purposely go out to try to be in any sort of spotlight. In some cases now, because there is circumstances where we've kind of gone too big or taken too many risks, where there might be press releases or things where I actually purposely avoid the spotlight. But I do think that you naturally just kind of create this, whatever your auras are, into who you're supposed to be.
But watch this.
I'm just excited for the journey.
What is your least favorite part of your day-to-day? What is the thing that you're like, oh God, like you know this is coming, you know this is part of the project, and you're like, oh my God, I hate doing this. Logistics.
I love everything I do.
Really?
Today.
A
year ago, I'd tell you I'm still too much in my business. So one key thing, if you get lucky enough, and I've been really lucky, I've worked hard, but I've gotten lucky, is at some point you've got to be able to go from working in your business to on your business. And today, I'm not fully on it. I think there's like probably an 80-20 ratio. And the rule is bring me in when something's really, really good or really, really bad. And usually it's really, really bad. But what that requires is you empowering everybody to take care of the things that I hate getting in the weeds of things. Like, I'm just not a weeds guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know if our floors in one of our buildings were, like, I just don't. And I don't want to, and then beyond that, and it's kind of scary because there's certain things I don't want to know about, like a legal document. I'm like, did you handle it? Don't even go over it with me right now. Like, let's just focus on what we need to focus.
Accounting, taxes, all that. You hate all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no, we've got people like,
I know.
You know, and
I know. That's because your mind works differently. Your mind works a lot like mine, where you're just like, don't even waste your breath. I don't want to know about it. Just handle it.
I'm not above it. Don't get me wrong.
Not above it.
I went through this cycle of where you actually think, you know, I did things for years. I was the project manager for years, and I brought people on, and I did do it better than them.
Right.
But then I was like, well, I'm not even giving them the chance to
Right.
So it's like, you got to be able to.
But that's not what you love to do.
Doing it 10 times better than you.
You love the art of the deal. You love going, meeting with the client, especially if they are your new client and you're like, I got this guy. You love that. right?
I love building
Exactly.
relationships.
There it is.
But more importantly, I love externally as much as I love internally. Most people think we're crazy that we built an infrastructure with this many people. And creating jobs, Jimmy, is like, dude, this is going away. Like people, our parents, generations similar to us, came to this country for the American dream. And that has now become an American nightmare.
Right.
It's almost impossible to
I know.
succeed. Like you don't come here for the best thing anymore. And I saw something recently where it's like America's like the number one. I still do. I'm going to be biased. I live here, but it's not as it relates to freedom, as it relates to obesity, as it relates to mental illness. I mean, we are so beyond not the best country right now as it looks globally.
Right.
I still believe in the American dream.
Sure.
And I'm honoring my fathers.
Nate, what is the best country? Can you look that up? Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would think you'd just have like an AI.
That's him.
By the
that's
man,
not
did
AI.
I not put,
that's NA.
Did I not
Nate.
put AI on the list? I thought that was a great topic.
I thought you said, "Hey, what's up?"
Artificial intelligence. Whoa.
Listen,
man.
hold
Robots.
on a second. Hold on a second.
Robots.
Your statement about
Tennessee is the
Tennessee's the best country. Listen,
been there.
your statement about
Can you hold this for me really quick?
oh yeah, sorry.
This
I'll
is
just speak into both.
This is like Russian roulette. Which
Oh.
one do you think is cinnamon?
The one that's black, that one is cinnamon.
Okay, I'll just do both. Just
No. Oh boy. I used that one earlier. I put it back. Is that okay? Listen, am I accurate in saying that you prefer the relationships over the planning, you have a job and you're going to sit and there's people that see a job and go, I can't wait to detail this plan. Now we're going to do this and this guy's going to do this and we're going to move this in here and this is going to be delivered. You hate it, right? You hate it.
It's not that. It's okay. It's not that it's boring me. It's not that I prefer to be in the. You want to know what motivates
It's
me?
okay to say it, bro.
And I'll tell you the truth. Because forever I thought it was like being the guy. And then like when you become, this sounds so arrogant, but when you do become the guy, you're almost like, you feel like there's a lot of loneliness when you're that person. Then you feel like you're almost bipolar. I'm quad polar at this point. I'm a different person in every situation. But what motivates me now, Jimmy, and I was talking about it earlier, is if I could extend the legacy of my parents' American dream story, and I can build a sustainable business here that creates job in a country that so desperately needs it, and my children, who Sammy and Nico. I mean, I've kind of manipulated my kids now because I know we're not supposed to do that because we're supposed to be like super.
Let me hear how you
whatever
manipulate
our kids. So every night when we go to bed, I take them to bed. We do our bath time. We go to bed.
You do all this.
When I'm home,
really?
Yeah.
Mr. Mom over here.
Yeah. Well, Allie's, throughout
Drinking
the whole day,
wine.
she's like, she's usually drinking wine. She's usually cleaning up.
We're gonna get to all that
She's
too.
cleaning up.
Tell me how you manipulate these
So
kids.
anyways, every night we talk about, we do our bath, we do our prayers, and then we talk business.
Oh.
And the other day I told Samuel, this is how messed up I got him. I said, hey, Daddy's got to leave for a week. I'm going to Kansas City. And Daddy's building a X amount of story building. And he goes, oh yeah, Dad? Well, I'm going to build a X amount bigger story building.
Okay.
And I just thought, I was so proud. I was like, I know I've jacked you up, kid. But like doing it for them and wanting to torch it down. Maybe some of it's like with the PTSD that's like, I just want to leave you a business that you don't have to make the mortgage for next month. But I mean, there's just a lot of motivation in that, right?
Okay, I like that. And I can see that, and I can see that your goal is to supply people with jobs and or material things. That is what's important to you, and that's how you thrive, right? That's how you thrive. Now, there are people, you want to be remembered as the guy that created jobs and different types of employment and legacy. You want to create that legacy. There are people that want to be remembered as the greatest physical builder of all time. You don't care. You would rather be known for, and that's to take you back to the very beginning. That is why I think that this construction thing is not all you're going to do, because you have a picture of creating something bigger, a bigger legacy. And there are people that really love the construction, and it's still building. You are building something else.
The world of building is not just construction.
I hear you.
I mean, you've got people that are pushing brooms. You've got people that are raising hundreds of millions of dollars in a boardroom, and I represent all that space. And anybody that's promoting legacy, like you just said, I actually don't want to be known for anything. I want to be known by my children for trying to extend a legacy. But anybody that's trying to extend a legacy, like Jimmy, 100 years from now, nobody's going to know who the F we are.
You don't know that.
200 years? Well, I don't think my stature is going to go anywhere.
You don't know
if
that.
It is, like small percentage. It's just my opinion. We have the right to our perspectives. But a legacy can be carried on generationally. Right?
100%.
You can instill and you can leave a legacy that honors something that's so important and critical that just creates generational, and not just to your children, to people around your community, to every person you touch. And I think that's pretty cool, right?
Well, that's exactly what you have done, which you may not even know. Exactly what you just explained, and this is how I want to segue into this, because you just said that you're creating a legacy for not only your children, but for your community. Now, a year ago, you were involved, created a restaurant here in Glendora.
Yeah.
Named after your father.
Passion project. Yep.
RAMONS in downtown Glendora. It's a Mexican
tacos y tapas.
Tacos y tapas. And Nate asked me the other day, very
Tacos y
politely, he asked, "What is a tapa?"
You don't know what a
Please
tapas
explain
is,
to
Nate?
him what a tapa is.
Oh my gosh, you look like such a world traveler. Tapas is like Spanish appetizers. So the reason we did it is it's like contradictory, right? So if you live here in Glendora or anywhere in Southern California, if you're of the Hispanic race,
Right.
and you probably felt some of this growing up, like you're just Mexican.
Right. Everybody's Mexican.
And I am Mexican, but I'm half Mexican, half Spanish. Ancestry DNA fact checked me. I'm 75% European, 25 Mexican, 2% African. It's really awesome. So, tacos y tapas, we did that to represent both cultures. And we blended the restaurant in honor of my father, who we just grew up in this town that we got made fun of for eating tacos. Like kids would literally be like, "What do you guys just eat tacos all day?" I'd be like, "Yeah, they're delicious."
So
and now
that goes back to what you just said in the previous sentence. It's not just generational, meaning it's not just your kids. Now there will be others in your community that know about your father. And I think there's a photo of your father in there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And they're going to assume
You've
without.
Gone and you haven't. You've only gone once without telling me. You've gone more than once.
Yeah, and I paid too. Could you imagine? Actually, Nate paid.
You're not paying next time. Well, I'll give you a percent.
Remember that, Nate?
I'm still waiting.
Dude, I will give you the fattest. I'm going to mark the food up 30%, give you a 25%.
Listen, when I go with Nate,
I'm going to
when I go with Nate, just double it. It's okay. He's got a lot of money.
No, we don't. We only have beer and wine, Nate.
He's a big guy. So listen.
We should buy from you, by the
So
way.
you've succeeded. Your father has succeeded. Your father has succeeded.
Legacy has succeeded.
And that is what I assume that you were referring to. And without even thinking about it, you've said it, and it's happened in your father's shoes. And maybe your children or your grandchildren will do the same, and maybe not, right? Maybe they're not going to open a restaurant with your name, but maybe there'll be something that they honor you by, and that's a good thing, and that's important to you.
Just be a vessel in the legacy, right?
And and there's people that don't want anything to do with that. They don't want to be remembered.
A lot of inner child wounds. A lot of inner
They
child
don't want anything to do with anything. They're just like, well, yeah, when I'm dead, just put me in the thing and throw me away. But
put me in the
urn and put it somewhere else.
Put me in the thing and throw me. What do you mean throw me?
In the little dusting thing, the urn, and then they just go put me in the trash where I belong. But listen, there's something to be said from what you said, and it's weird how you've said it, and it's exactly what has happened with your father's legacy, and it was very just nonchalantly said, but it's been accomplished. So I think that's very cool. Let's talk a little bit more about this restaurant. Let's talk about why.
You don't want to hit the list. You'd rather talk about the restaurant.
Listen, we're going to get to your list. We're going to fire off your list. We're going to fire off your list at the end. It's like those bang, 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 bang.
Order the chorizo, the Spanish side chorizo.
Oh, you're talking about this list, or you're talking about your
that list?
No, we'll get to that, bro. You're very, very worried about this list.
I just figured we would.
Let's have another drink here with this Tampico. How do you like these Tampicos?
They're actually really, really delicious.
So you can get these Tampicos at San Dimas Liquor and Freeway Liquor.
Yeah.
This is going to be here. Why don't you drink what you have in there? Because now we have a different flavor.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you think about these cups, though? They're great, right?
These are actually genius. The fact that they got everything to stick right here. Is this made local?
Yeah. I'm going to have
Seriously?
Frankie drop off a box for you guys.
Frankie, we are buying some of these for the restaurant. Honestly, Frankie, you need to hit me up.
I'll bring you a box of these. And you serve them on Sundays, Micheladas Sundays at Ramon's.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, let's talk a little bit about this restaurant because that's the only other thing that I know you do. And I don't even know if you do other things, which, I'm sure we can get to it. But I want to talk about this restaurant because it was like something that I see this big construction company and this big entity. And then all of a sudden I go, and we're going to start a restaurant downtown Glendora. I go, whoa, that's a big, like,
Yeah.
why? Like, how? Why?
It made some sense. At first, maybe it makes zero sense. But, we through the vessel of the business, and if you're, relatively successful, when you're relatively successful in a, you want, is this what you want from me?
No, just right here. I mean,
dude, you've done this to me my whole, thank
bro,
God
this is a little bit.
Thank God we had years.
This is a little
The
bit
room
much.
is quiet.
Are you talking?
So Nate's
Nate's whispering. Go ahead. Sorry, I can't even hear what you said.
I don't even
Go ahead.
remember the question.
The restaurant.
Sure.
Why? How? Who?
We're not talking
what?
about
When?
P. Diddy. We're talking about the restaurant. Okay. So, the business, fortunately, knock on wood, we were we were able to do a passion project here
Okay.
locally.
Okay.
And we've built 1,000 kitchens through the construction company,
Okay.
but never owned one.
Okay.
And there was an opportunity in our town, in our backyard, which
Yeah.
made sense to do something cool. And we thought this would not only be cool for us to experiment with the business, but to maybe give back to the community and just kind of share our culture with them. So, we applied all the business fundamentals to a restaurant. And we just turned 1 year old
Right.
yesterday. What's
Oh, nice.
today?
Today is the day after yesterday.
Okay. Monday, whatever today is.
Yeah.
And most startup restaurant concepts have like a 75% success rate of failing. And the first year they have a
So they have a 75
chance of failing. Yes, Spanish is my first language. Honestly, it is. But I speak
That wasn't
English.
even Spanish or English.
Whatever.
That was reversed.
So we just thought it would be a really cool project to get involved a little bit more with the community, which we have. I mean, through a restaurant, which is a smaller business than what we have, but
Right.
it's still really cool. It kind of opened up a lot of different doors.
Sure.
So just from a community perspective and being able to meet with certain people that maybe you didn't before. And my dad had a rule to never actually, the quote is don't shit where you eat.
Right.
And he never wanted to do business in Glendora. But growing up here, you're kind of biased, right? This is a good town. You
Sure.
could admit, right? I mean, we all hated it at one point because
Right.
just like it's boring. But like it's really, and now it's like activated and everything all the officials and everybody are talking about is so pro moving it forward. So we just thought this was an opportunity to add our small part
Sure.
to making Glendora great again. And we we've been having fun with it.
I think it's a very good idea, and I think it's a very needed thing, especially in that downtown area that is surrounded by real estate offices and
7 nail salons.
7 nail salons and like knick-knack type stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of offices and a lot of nonsense. But this is something out of the ordinary. And I don't know if there's ever been a Mexican. Have there ever been a Mexican restaurant down there?
No, not
Downtown? Not that I can think of. And it's doing very well. And it
Mexican
also
and
helps.
Spanish, but
Another
okay.
topic that I want to get to, because I do believe that this is a very important thing for you. And you have a very strong support system with your own family and your wife's family.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that is always overlooked. If you are fighting a war, quote unquote, fighting a war alone, it's a lot harder than if you have 50 people fighting with you and for you. And I think that you have a very strong system in place, not you specifically, but your system. You are part of that system.
Right.
And your wife is involved in this, and your family is involved. Your own immediate family is involved in this project, and their families are involved in it. And it makes it so much easier, right? It's not all the pressure, like we said earlier, it's not all the pressure on you to make something work. Like, it's a collective effort, it's a collective word, it's collective networking, and it makes this project grow. So that is, I think, something that in addition to providing a good product and or service, you are doing it in a way and in a vehicle that allows people to help you win.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, just, it's almost like the validation of the community actually coming together for you, because, you know, even if you're around circles of people that you know and you trust and you love, you never know if people are going to support. But I'll tell you, this little community we're in, man, like,
Oh, they've
you know,
been
you may have a lot of gossip here, which there's always gossip, and you know, it's funny because I'm sure you've been in the middle of it. And
I don't get
it.
it. Honestly,
yeah,
no.
It
I don't even know what that
it's
means.
funny. I just, what I say to the gossipers is I don't make threats, I make promises. But
Wow.
I think what we need to do is
Freeze.
realize the
Freeze.
You never take a gun to a
I don't
fight.
listen. To be honest with you, I know nothing.
You've never been in the
No.
middle of a gossip.
Nothing.
I'm going to start a gossip story.
Good.
for
Please
you.
start it. You know
And
what?
I know exactly who to talk to about gossip.
I know.
Man, we will run wild here. What should we make up? We could do it right now. But really, hold on. Before I get distracted, it is important to know that the community we're in, as tight as it is, it's like a family, right? And everybody they support and they come out and they may have their own opinions, but at the end of the day, people are there. And we live in a small, I think we live in the biggest small town in California. Like, people still know people.
Makes sense.
And like, we could pick up your kids,
Yep.
right? And take them to
Please.
sports.
I have 4 of them. Take them all.
I know how you do it. I was going to ask you to pick
You
up my
have 2 kids. You
I
have
know.
2 kids.
That's like,
And it's a lot of work.
that's
Are you
more
going to
than
have
enough.
another kid? Are you done?
I think
You
I
heard it
think
here
so.
first. Oh, really? You think
Yeah,
so?
I think so. I mean, Nico's 4. I mean, look, if it happens, you know, we I don't know.
Listen.
Maybe we'll practice.
Listen to your elders and listen to somebody. and I love my children.
I got more white hair than you now.
I love
But
my
you have
children,
great hair.
and my children are great. But 4 kids
There's a lot
is
of kids.
insane.
Are you guys having another one? You should.
There's no chance.
You
I
should.
will.
Your kids
no.
are so cute.
It's. I assume at some point it's going to be fantastic,
It's chaos.
bro.
2
It is-
versus 2 is tough. I don't know how you do
It's
2 versus 4.
2 versus 2 is nothing, bro. What are you talking
It's
about?
everything. Have
Oh
you
my
met Nico?
dude, when we get
Sammy's such an
when we
angel.
get a break, it's 2 versus 2. And we're going like this. What do we do now? This is so easy. My mom takes 2 of them and go, oh, this is cake. And then the other 2 come back and it's just like, yeah. So if you think that you have a good handle on it, which you do because it's 1-on-1 times 2, leave it alone.
No, we do. And my wife, Allie, is like the best mom ever. I
And
mean,
you have
she,
strong support though
she
too.
works-
You have
her job is like, you know, people ask her like, do you work? And it's like, I'll answer. She works 24 hours a day with these children.
Sure.
Like, I mean, and so involved in all the sports, and it's like, man, like that's a tough.
Oh,
job,
100%.
Especially these years, it's like you can't turn the clock off.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But you guys do have I guess there's your in-laws. They
A lot
help.
of in-laws, and then my side of the family,
And then
extended
cousins
families.
and all kinds.
Yeah,
I have
it's too many
those
people.
kids right there somewhere. Where are those kids? Right here. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's another relative, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We
breed a lot.
Those are
There's a lot of breeding.
there's
inbreeding
that's
that
another
I
thing.
know
So
of.
your wife, as we referred earlier, has always been the little kid because I knew her older sister,
Mm-hmm.
and her older sister actually married my wife and I. Did you know that, Nikki?
The 3 of you got married. That is
Wow.
I
Nikki-
mean, I know we live in a new age.
Nikki was the
but, like,
officiant.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nikki was the officiant at our wedding. I love Nikki, and Nikki is somebody. It's weird with Nikki because Nikki will call me and say, "Hey, I need you guys to play this event," and I've always said yes, Nikki, whatever you need, but it's for everybody else. I go, nope,
Yeah, it's
no
awesome.
chance. But she calls, I go,
You guys have
yes.
a cool relationship.
She is the best, and she's one of a kind. Your
Absolute
wife is
gem.
very nice too, and very very similar. They're all very similar,
Yeah,
right?
There's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah.
That dad must have.
Yeah.
oh,
I mean,
that must have been work.
it's a lot of estrogen.
4 girls and the
lot of
mother.
estrogen.
The mom's great too.
Yeah,
The
they're all
mom's
great.
fantastic. I love her.
But it is true, you know, when you marry the family, you marry like all of them. So,
So you have 5 wives.
no, I have 1 wife with an extension of 4 more
Don't
women.
be nasty. Hey, listen. We're gonna get to this because I know you worked very hard on this.
I signed it for you.
Let me
in case something ever happens with
let me tell you what he came to me with in case my items sucked.
We're
gonna talk about these quickly, and then I have another a capstone for you because we've been here for an hour now. An hour.
God,
so we're gonna cap this, but we're gonna read these, and I want you to tell me what exactly you thought was gonna happen when we read these. And here's the title: 5 decent topics for Jimmy T. Number 1.
It was off the cuff.
Let's start from the bottom. Number 5. Modern.
There's some optional ones.
Oh, let's start to the optional ones. Yeah. Number 8.
Yeah.
Island Boys.
What happened to the Island Boys?
That's where we'll end that one.
I'm giving you one sentence for
The Island Boys are these Cuban hip hop artists who turned very weird.
Yeah, but they were like, they hit it, and it's like, what happened?
I'm an island boy.
I'm an island boy. And then
they ran out of material, bro. That's what it was. They ran out of material.
God,
and then what do you do?
Island Boys, come back, Island Boys. We're just they were just they were just trying to make it, man. All right.
They kind of did. Number 7, Glendora.
Yeah, we covered Glendora, I think.
Number 6, MySpace.
Best social media platform of all time. You had your own song and your top favorite friends, so you could be biased. That's it. Next.
I think that was a very good platform.
Wasn't it?
I think that was a very good platform.
We don't have that anymore.
It was very.
When I was sad, I'd put like "Lonely" from Akon, and then when I was like pumped, I'd put something else.
What were you ever sad about?
Like Allie not taking my. I proposed to her every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in high school for a while.
It still hasn't. Never worked out, huh?
Yeah.
In high school, you had
ended
MySpace.
Up saying yes.
I didn't even have
persistence pays off, kids.
I didn't even have a computer in high school. But anyway, number 5, modern men.
Yeah. Am I just saying?
He said, "Yeah,
yeah." Get your balls back, man. Get your balls back. The paradigm has shifted.
I don't even know.
You know, that's another like. Take them back for like another hour. That one would take another hour. That's like, you know, we live in a world now where. I mean, I hate to say this is gonna maybe some reviewers.
I know what you mean,
but the reality is, you know, women are brought up of how to be treated by a man and what to expect from a man, and a man is brought up how to treat a woman and what women expect.
Right.
And now the paradigm has shifted, and I think that's all I need to say.
You know, it hasn't shifted, my man. That's the problem. Women are women, and men are men, and we are humans from a long history of nature. And if you are a man and you act as a man should act, a woman will honor and respect it.
That's
the
true.
End. It is.
But it's not happening.
No. That's because men don't act like men.
That's because men are watching the Princess Fairy Tales as they grow up. And we need to
it's tough.
Disney put some new stuff out.
Number 4, Little League.
I just thought it was cool because our kids play Little League together. It was cute. It was like my cute attempt.
I love Little League.
To you.
His son, his youngest son, was on my son's we were on the same team. We had a T-ball team, and it was very good. And I must say that the scope or the graph of your son's improvement was great. Like I saw the very first day. Were you there the very first? He came in crying.
Yeah.
Didn't want it. And I remember seeing, I go, uh-oh.
I know.
Didn't know much about it, was very uncomfortable about the game. And I know that your older son plays, and maybe he had seen or not seen, but he grew into it, started hitting the ball, started liking the game and interested in it. And it was really fun to see. And I hope that he continues to play. And, you know, he's only 4, right? He's still 4?
We like give these kids such a hard time.
And now they're in the same class. And my son comes to me, and I tell your wife this all the time at pickup. I go, you know, Rio came home the other day. He goes, me and Nico are going to go play Laser Star. And I go, laser tag. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, we're going on Friday. And I go, who says who? He goes, it's the only day that they don't have anything to do. I go, what?
Nico knows our schedule.
I go, this is what you guys are talking about? You're 4. He goes, yeah, we're going on Friday. And I go, no, you're not. No, nobody's ever even said anything. He goes, we're going.
We planned it, Dad. Got to get over it.
So
you
they're
were
great.
A great Little League coach, by the way. Thank you.
Oh,
you weren't like a daddy Little League guy either. You were
tough. What is? Oh yeah.
You weren't like,
I'm
it's
not
okay.
No.
You you didn't hit off the key for 18 times. You were like, hit the ball.
Yeah,
Like, we
dude.
need
I don't
to-
do that. You
I
tried.
appreciate that.
I hate that, bro. I hate that because
as a sideline parent, you like, and it's going away. Not all of us appreciate that, Jimmy, but
I don't
was
care.
like, dude. Go hard on them.
and that goes back to number 5 on your list of modern men.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell the kid, hey, you're a piece of shit. Like, you can't hit. You're terrible. But I will say, hey, listen, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. And that's why you're not hitting the ball. So stop messing around. Yeah. Pay attention. You're not here to mess around. You want to, everybody says, oh, just have fun. No, man. A 4-year-old, their idea of fun is picking up rocks and lizards and throwing them across. Yep. We're not here to do that. You're here to play baseball.
It's the first time they're being like reprimanded or told something by somebody else outside of their parents.
And that's okay.
That is so important, man.
And I'll tell you what.
So important.
Kids know. I have a whole theory on coaching and this and the other, but kids know when the coach knows. Yeah. And they know. And it's a perfect example. Remember when we had substitute teachers in class? You'd open the door and you see that substitute, shit would be flying everywhere. Oh, our teacher doesn't make us do anything. We just watch movies all day long and eat cupcakes. And the substitute's like, okay. Yeah. And if that's how you act as a coach, you're poisoning these kids. Yeah. They are there to learn how to play baseball. Their parents signed them up. They're there. Teach them baseball. Teach them how to hit. Teach them how to field. And teach them how to pay attention. Or else you're not doing your job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Glendora Little League Baseball.
Number 3, Luis Miguel. Give me something good with Luis Miguel, please.
I told you. I was just giving you some fun facts.
Oh. I mean, what's the fun fact again?
First album when he was 12.
Oh.
El Sol de Mexico is his name, like his nickname, but he's from Puerto Rico, which is interesting. And also, you look more like
Luis
a Spaniard
than
I do. He was born in Puerto Rico.
But his dad is
Spaniard. Every time I see you, you're not allowed to call me Luis Miguel unless you know anything about Luis Miguel.
Listen, his dad is a Spaniard.
His dad,
and he looked a lot like your dad.
His dad was Mexican and his mom's African American.
Wrong.
Fact check me. I dare you.
Bro, hey.
Fact check me.
Nate?
Luis Miguel, fact check. Luis Miguel's dad is Mexican and his mother is African American.
So why does he have the Spanish list?
Because he's a G. That's why. That's why. And you know what? Okay, the fun fact about Luis Miguel, in middle school, because I went to Sellers, I wanted to be a mariachi when I grew up, and I still might. I don't know yet. But
you might still grow up.
I used one of his songs, and just without his words, just the songs to sing to all the moms that help for PTA.
Look at you.
I hope there's a video. It was so good.
What song? Cuando calienta el sol.
It was called Si Nos Dejan.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
You're so
good,
romantic.
Man.
Do you sing that to Allie at home?
I try.
Let me hear it, Nate.
She likes it. Luis Miguel, fact check. Nate was like,
you had one job, Nate.
Wrap it up, guys.
Okay, can you tell me where his parent? Can you type in?
Father's from Spain.
That's not true.
Canais, Spain.
Why would he be called the Sol de Mexico?
Well, his dad's last name.
He pretended to be from Mexico. He pretended to be from Mexico.
Listen, everybody at home, fact check it. Wikipedia.
Where are you reading this? Wikipedia?
Do you get a lot of comments on these?
Yes.
In the comments.
Bro, you're wrong.
If I am wrong.
You didn't watch what? Well, okay.
Jimmy gets to eat free at Ramon's for one full day.
Oh
for
my
the
God.
hours of 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. when we are not
I can do a
open.
lot of damage in an hour, bro.
Yeah.
Nate, please. What is it? He's from Spain. The dad is from Spain.
I'm gonna recheck this.
The dad is from Spain.
What else do you know about Luis Miguel? I'm sorry, I knew other facts about him. Do you think I made up the 12-year-old first album thing?
Segundo Romance. They hit it. So here was the thing. He came out as this Mexican pop star.
Yeah.
And they didn't want the public to know that he was a Spaniard because that would kill them.
Where was he born?
Wow, you are so wrong, bro. You said his mom was African American. She's Italian, bro.
It's like on the same side of the world, Jimmy. Give me a break, man. I wasn't that smart in school. I don't have like a college degree or anything.
Wow.
Do you have a college degree?
Yes, I do.
In what?
Anything else you'd like to?
In Luis Miguel facts?
Yes.
Well, you win.
Anything else? The mother was from Italy.
I feel like Nate's just helping you out.
No,
to not
bro.
make
You
look
didn't
bad.
watch the documentary.
Well, then I'll go watch it.
Watch the documentary, and you're going to see that dad, and you're going to be like,
Is that really from Spain?
and he looked, the guy that plays not
I don't know.
exactly.
I just feel like anytime you say something authoritative, like people will believe you. Right?
I
So I can
promise
tell
you,
you,
bro.
Luis Miguel.
And he
Was,
has the
listen. Luis Miguel was one of 8 children. 3 were adopted. Okay.
Wait.
And
What did you just say?
Do you see? I just said that anytime you say something authoritative.
But what did you say about the 8 children?
Luis was one of 8 children.
No.
And he was.
No.
And 3 were adopted.
No.
But you know what?
That's
Most people
totally
believe that-
wrong.
Okay. Well, sorry for using my.
Can you look that up?
I am trying to. No, that's
8
actually
children?
That's not true. I was just trying to make a point about. I was trying
Bro,
to.
you
make
are
a
a
point
disaster.
About how
Your ship is sinking.
When you say
He had-
something authoritative,
He had
people
two.
will believe you.
He had, I think, a younger brother and a sister. Yes.
He has 2 kids.
Okay, get him off the
Oh,
list.
no.
Okay,
next.
Take Luis Miguel off the list.
Number
I don't
2.
I don't want to talk about Luis Miguel anymore.
No, we're talking about Luis Miguel's brother and sister. Anyway, number 2 is Trump.
I made it up.
Number 2. Number 2.
That's a question for you.
What's the Trump? The question.
Do you like Trump?
I do listen. I like Trump because he's not.
Slippery slopes right now.
No,
the
I-
waters are really rough.
I have no. Like I told Nate the other day, I say what's on my mind, and if people don't like it, well, so here's the deal.
So Cuban. What you just
Here's
did.
the deal. Trump can talk his way in and talk his way out of things, and I do believe that there's positive ideas and concepts. But if Trump came to me and said, I need $500,000 for a project that I'm going to make you rich with, I wouldn't give it to him. I don't trust him like that, which is weird. It's a weird concept. Would you trust him? If he said, listen, I need $1 million. I got this beautiful thing that I'm going to do, and it's going to make you a lot of money. A lot of money.
Dude, that's a good Trump
Do you give him $1
impression.
million?
I
Or
mean,
do you
I
go,
would be like-
I don't know, bro.
I'd be like, can I look at your investment thesis and your performas and certain
Right.
things? Like I'd have to look at the
Right.
deal.
But if somebody else came to you and said that and said, hey, I got to, Warren Buffett
Like
comes
who?
to you. Warren Buffett comes to you and says, I need
Warren Buffett.
Stop it.
See?
Warren Buffett comes to you and says, I need $1 million for this project. Invest $1 million and you're going to make your return. Do you do it?
In what?
It doesn't matter. Instantly you do it.
You have a lot
Instantly.
of trust for people, Jimmy.
Oh, come on.
You trust.
Am I
everybody.
wrong?
Jimmy, I need $1 million for my next business venture.
I'd probably give you about $75.
Shake on it. 75
plus your fee for coming in
$75.
tonight. No, that's how I feel about him. Like, is it better than the other side? I do believe so. But I'll tell you who's good.
I just put it on there because it's such a, you know what I love talking about? We live in a world now where people won't even sit at the same table, and I think it's so BS. It's like you're allowed, your favorite color is allowed to be red and mine's allowed to be
100%.
blue. And if we disagree with that, like let's
So be it.
let's still love each
Yeah,
other. And
so
I
be
think,
it.
But I do respect him as like a business person. I liked Trump before he was. That does not mean I'm voting for him. All
Right.
it means is Trump was. I mean, he made things happen, and you cannot argue that.
No, I wouldn't argue that either. And the other side kind of scares me because, and only because of this. Listen, we are living in it. And I think that it's going to take one post, one thing where I just explain to people, listen, are you completely right now satisfied with costs of goods? Are you satisfied with your lifestyle? Are you satisfied with your status? If you are satisfied with it, vote for that administration because it's the same people. If you are not satisfied with it, vote against it. That's it. It's a simple, clear, and it's not like this lady's coming in and she's going to revolutionize everything. It's the same shit, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Well, I think no matter what happens, if people instead of thinking they're dependent, here's the problem: is everybody's depending on like a mommy now or a daddy, and it's like, how about you go figure out your own stuff?
100%.
if you can.
100%. I believe
Regardless
that.
of what happens, you are
100%.
not in control of what's about to happen,
And they're not in
So
control of you.
Figure your shit out.
I
and
totally believe
just
that.
go make things happen.
There's going to be some aspects that change.
Sure.
Yes, when somebody's elected,
Sure.
but they should not
So
determine.
then you make changes.
Exactly. No political office should determine your success unless you are directly affected by politics.
Which there is a lot of those people. There is.
Right. And those are the people that are severely, affected by one side or the other. But I live life in the middle of both of these people,
Yeah.
and they just you know,
It's
it just
better
goes
that
by.
way. You got to understand both sides.
Or are we so naive in thinking that they don't affect us? And that's what we tell ourselves. Whereas these big, huge players go, this depends on, everything depends on this.
Yeah, it could be. It could be our way of just fighting it. And, our
And we're
egos getting in the
so
way.
we're so minuscule in this
Yeah.
big pyramid
Yeah.
that it doesn't affect us because it's not enough to affect us. You know,
Yeah.
like they're so big in it that it does affect them. Let's get back to your number one. P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
What it is, man. P. Diddy.
Man,
Mace.
P. Diddy's got some problems.
I don't know, bro.
Or
I don't know
some
what the hell's going
opportunities.
on.
I'm not
What
sure.
happened? Like all of a sudden, like it's just. I mean, I guess the guy's been up to.
I don't know the number, Jimmy, but I think it was like 480 or 780 male figure sex toys in his house. First off, that's a lot of sex toys. Like that's like Pollo's got him beat. I don't know.
Do
what
you
that
know
means.
Pollo?
I don't know Pollo, but
He doesn't know
Pollo.
Pollo. Oh, you would love
got him
Pollo.
beat, man.
Bro, you know
Whoa.
what? You know what? Pollo would actually be a very. I'm going to introduce you to Pollo. I think Pollo would be good for
Pollo sounds. Why do we call him Pollo?
because he's a pollo. He makes birdies.
Does nobody call him gallo? Just Pollo.
He calls himself pollo because he makes birdies.
These are so good, by the way.
Hey, listen,
Frank. Thank you. Another shout out to
Salud.
Frank.
And
Thank
Nate
you.
from San Dimas Liquor for
And
providing
Nate,
us
thank
the
you,
drink.
Nate.
Before we go, I feel like we've
Yeah,
said
let's
a
not
lot.
talk about P. Diddy. That's
Let's
kinda-
talk a little bit about golf because everybody that watches this
Yes.
is golf related. Not everybody, because I'm sure you're going to have your people that watch this and they want to know more about you. But
Most people know I golf. Well,
let's talk about number one, your favorite golf course ever
okay.
on the planet.
Growing up, it was Glen Oaks because we just get. I mean, we lived in the day. We lived in the day where we'd be dropped off there at 10 years old.
Glen Oaks is a par 3 9-hole
Even
golf
then, I
course
think it was like in Glendora.
in Glendora.
3, they got a new little driving range.
97 yards.
But what? Let me tell you why. Because we would be dropped off with our friends, and we didn't have cell phones, and we got to
Yeah,
play
it was
golf.
babysitting service.
And if mom didn't come back, we'd just keep playing, right? So it's
And
kind
you
of
get the burger basket.
So the reason why that matters to me is because it's kind of like the first
Fundamentals.
time the fundamentals.
I hear you.
But now I'm super biased because I just played Pebble Beach.
Did you like Pebble
And
Beach?
honestly, so I played Pebble, Spanish, and Spy. And if I had a rank, if I told you just from a what did I like more, I'd say Spanish because it's called Spanish and I'm Spanish. But the
Okay.
reality is Pebble Beach is a beautiful golf course. I mean, it is, and I don't know if it's just the nostalgia of the experience, but it was beautiful. And just, I mean, if you can, and that was like a bucket list thing, I really enjoyed it being up there, and everybody's there for golf, right? And it's kind of like that's what you're there for. That's what you're experiencing. Even your social hours are based on golf.
I think that the environment around Pebble Beach is much nicer and much more enjoyable than the actual golf course. The pro shop, the
Really?
little
You don't like the course?
no. The course to me,
You're like a course judge then.
no, but there's nothing to it, bro.
Why didn't you like the course?
Because there's nothing to it.
Number 7.
Big deal, bro.
Yeah.
A 95-yard par 3. Who gives a
What'd
shit?
you hit?
50 degree. But it didn't do anything
you get
for
there?
me. I made a par, and I have it on film. Thank you very much. Would I go play it again? No. You know what's great up there? Great. Pasatiempo. It's in the same San Jose, Santa Cruz, whatever up there. It's marvelous. It's designed by Alistair.
Pasatiempo.
It's designed by Alistair McKenzie, same guy that designed Augusta. Marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
Really?
Pebble Beach to me, and
I think there's just too much hype.
yes,
But you've played it multiple times now, right?
I played it twice. And Spyglass was good, not great. We just played with Ted Giapapas. We played, oh my God, what's the other one up there? I'm sorry, Ted. I forgot.
It's a good one.
Poppy Hills.
Okay.
Very good. Better than Spyglass.
Really?
Similar to Spyglass. Better than Spyglass. Way better than Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach to me is the same as Torrey Pines. Have you played Torrey Pines?
Yeah.
Same thing. You go up and down. You got the motion there. You go around the cliff. Big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
I may have been a little blurred from just the fact that you're at Pebble.
I understand
it's almost
that.
like you can meet
It's the
Tiger
aura.
Woods versus somebody that's like the best.
It's the
amateur
aura.
today.
It's the aura
But
of Pebble
it
Beach.
for sure is like the Tiger Woods of golf courses because of the hype, maybe. Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's
Do you like
Tiger.
Glendora Country Club? I've asked you to play a few times.
Yeah,
You've
I
said
like
no.
it. You've never asked
You
me, but
rejected
that's
me.
okay.
Do you want to play?
You want to go right now? I heard that it's free after 9:30. Oh, it's 9:30.
Let's go. And that's a wrap, kids.
I would love to play. I would love to play golf with you. I think it's great. What you've told me your favorite golf course of all time. What is your best round of golf? Meaning the most, not the score, but your most enjoyable round. If you had to relate one round and say, I want to go play that round over and over and over and over again, would it be the Pebble Beach one?
No. I would say Cabo de Sol in
Cancun?
in
Cabo.
Cabo de Sol in Cabo. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's another one in Cabo that's called.
It just, we grew up going there, so I got to play with Ramon and my brother, and we'd go out, and it was kind of like our time, and it was just such a fun experience. And at one point, like, you're going by like where Michael, not Jackson, what's the other one? Jordan used to live.
The other
one that did
Michael.
this instead of like this. Yeah. But,
So,
so it's just, I don't know. That was just like, it was a really cool experience. But honestly, if you ask me best or favorite like, Glen Oaks meant so much to me growing up.
I hear you.
I'm a member of GCC, and they do, for a local club, have such a great program. The course is good. It's hard. You start on this par 5. It's a monster. It's like 900 yards. No, but really, it's like, you've played Glendora, right?
Yes.
First hole is par 5.
Yeah.
And it's a monster. And most guys that, if they don't golf, like, they go like that. That's like, it's narrow. It's 540 yards or something. It's a good course.
The only thing negative, I think, I mean, listen, it's a nice place and it's a great program. I do respect Glendora, and I think that they have a great network of people. To me, the course is in great condition, but to me, it's a little repetitive. Number 1 is the same as number 6 or whatever, where you go over that lake. You just keep down and back and there and back and there.
You never shot good at Glendora, I bet.
I did.
Remember Azusa Greens?
Of course, bro. That's my Glen. That's my Glen Oaks.
That was a cool course.
That's my Glen Oaks.
I missed that course.
Well, it's back for
Is it?
nine. It's nine holes now.
Oh,
We should
Rancho
buy that.
Duarte?
Why don't you go buy that? Listen,
you should buy it.
before
You're
we
the
go,
golf
I
guy.
want to know. Do you have anything brewing? Do you have another business coming? Are you going to do something with the space back here? Listen, if you want to team up with Juan and do something on the space, we're going to do.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that. I think we need to help. Jimmy has built such an amazing brand. Honestly, I know I'm younger than you, so I shouldn't be proud of you, but I am. And you have done an amazing job with this whole thing you've got going on, man. The membership, the brand, you're killing it.
Appreciate it.
All your partnerships, and you've got really cool real estate space right here off Route 66 in Glendora.
Yep.
If you partner with Jimmy, we are going to charge you high market value rates for this. But
Did you see that? He slid in there. I'm the partner now.
We're a team.
Look at me.
We're a
I'm the
team,
captain
buddy.
now.
We're a team.
Well, Juan's going to rent the space and he's going to put something cool in there. And I hope that you and I get to do something together, and that would be fun. And when I say do something together, I mean you do it and then I'll just hype it up,
Yeah, there we go.
And I'll get the people in there and I'll just
I
slide
want
right
you
in
in
there.
the spotlight.
I love it.
There we go.
You're going to be in the spotlight. You're going to see more of this guy. I promise. Is there any way they need to get a hold of you? Is there anything that you want to plug? Is there anything that you need
Tacos
business?
and tapas.
That's it.
Go get some tacos and
Ramones
tapas, man.
in downtown
Downtown
Glendora.
Glendora. Try it out. I'll see you
Tacos
there.
and tapas. Anything with the construction company? You don't need that. You're good. You guys are set.
Yeah, we just built things.
Tell me the name of the construction company at least.
The BR companies.
The BR companies. Baños Ramon.
Yeah, we're still honoring that.
I love that. That's a really good thing. Well, my friend, it's been an hour and 40 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm
You're gonna
glad
have
we
to
got to
chop
do this.
up.
You are a good friend, a longtime friend.
Appreciate
I
it.
love you, brother.
Appreciate
And
it.
thank you so much. I'm proud of you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed it. And like always, salute Frankie, salute Nate, salute to you, my friend,
Thank you.
Mr. Baños. And we will see you next Friday. Thank you.